Honestly, diesels aren't that much harder than a rotary engine. Aside from just having more moving parts under the valve cover than a rotary engine has inside of its whole, engine. What is up, Rad Potential YouTube? Welcome to today's video. We are working on something different today. As you can see, this is not a normal Rad Potential project. This doesn't have a rotary engine, doesn't even have a normal gas engine. This is a diesel. And I am by no means a diesel mechanic, but I bought this truck, supposedly in good condition. It's a used truck. 2003 Duramax, 1-ton, dually, 4-wheel drive, and it's got a ZF 6-speed. Check that out. So this was definitely more of like an old farm truck. It's got a vinyl floor, the headliner's falling out. It's been used. But the ad said new injectors, new clutch, new tires. That right there is about $5,000 worth of work, and I thought it'd be a good truck, so I picked it up. Fast forward, second night I've got this thing, I go to change the oil. Well, if you know much about Duramaxes, this is a LB7. It only holds 10 quarts of oil. My drain pan holds about 7. I drained that out, filled that up, and then it filled up basically another half of a 5-gallon bucket, a little bit more, or I guess. I drained well over 10 quarts of oil out of this truck, and it was very thin. So, what that has led me to believe, which is why I bought this truck and basically have to spend a whole bunch of time and fixing it because it's not drivable in its current state. I think I've got a return line leak on one of the injectors. I've never worked on a Duramax diesel before in my life, other than this truck, the little bit that I was under there changing the oil. This is how new it is. I don't even know how to open the hood yet. So, 6.6 turbo diesel, and this is the only injector you can see, the feed line for it. So we've got to get all this stuff out of here, get the coolant drained. Fortunately, mine stays nice and soft, coolant reservoir nice and clear, no head gaskets issues. But we've got to get this stuff off so I can get the valve covers off, so I can look at the return lines, and hopefully that's where the fuel leak is. So there's plenty of good videos on how to take all this stuff off on the internet. We got to pull a lot of things out of the way, and I'm going to go consult some how to do injectors on an LB7 Duramax video and figure out how to take this apart. We got to put it in the shop first, and this doesn't fit in my shop, so let's do that. Fires right up. Shifter thing spins. Gotta address that. Oh, what the heck? I got water coming out of my... Oh, man. That means my center cab light is leaking water. Look at that. Project trucks are so good. So if this is your first time here, I do everything in a 22 by 24 block building, and this truck is well too long for this, but it does fit through my door, just barely. Man, homeboy I bought this truck from is just laughing because the interior is getting soaked by the water that is just coming out of the sunglasses holder. Glorious. I even asked him, hey, does it leak anywhere? It's pretty common for old farm trucks to leak water, you know? Look at that. So you know you're centered, the mirrors are going to clear. And then you got to watch the headache rack. Winner, winner, chicken dinner. Man, I'm so irked at the freaking cab light leaks. Oh. Alright, well, I guess I'm pulling the cab lights off. Like I said, I've got some parts from Thoroughbred Diesel to throw at this deal, some new brake pads. I already changed the oil, and I had to put a new Hydro Boost on it. It's a 2003. She's old truck. At least, it's not old enough that, you know, it's had to be overhauled, like if you bought a 90 square body or even like a C10 or something. Most of the stuff on those old trucks has been fixed because they're old. But it's new enough that I got it right when it's needing a whole lot of work because the steering's loose and it's going to be a good project. So we got to bust this out ASAP. Commence time lapse of fixing stuff. Alright guys, we found the problem. It's going to be really hard for me to show you this, so I'll just try to illustrate it as best I can. The body of the injector is leaking right here between this top part, the solenoid, and the base of it. If I hold you down in there, maybe you can see the bubbles. So, this is really annoying because it looks like these brand new injectors are junk. Diesels are fun. Buy a Duramax with new injectors because new injectors are still junk. So looks like we have two for sure that are failed over here. If I'm already this far into tearing this thing down tonight, well then tomorrow, which is 14 seconds for you, I'm gonna go ahead and just pull all these injectors out and see if I can't find a shop here in like Nashville or something that can like test them. And then see what their recommendation is, which if it was me, my recommendation for me, which this is my truck, is going to be, I don't want to have to take this all apart again, so I want to buy new ones.
That was a year.
Alrighty, folks. Honestly, diesels aren't that much harder than a rotary engine. Aside from just having more moving parts under the valve cover than a rotary engine has inside of its whole, you know, engine, this wasn't that bad. For those of you who haven't seen the excessive amount of rotary engines, if you're here for the diesel stuff. RX-8 engine, RX-7 engine, another RX-8 engine. It's like 4 or 5 engines up on this shelf. I do RX-7s, RX-8s, got a rotary truck. Go check it out. Brand new Mazda engine. We got rotary stuff. So, what did I learn taking these apart? I tested for fuel leaks. You guys are going to see, or you saw in the time lapse, I pulled all the injectors out. I tested it for fuel leaks. I just took a hose I had laying around and pressurized the return side once I had the valve covers off. I'll put the footage in now. You can see that I had 2 injector bodies that are leaking. Now, the guy I bought this truck from said it had new injectors put in. The receipt says, the receipt that I got for them says, install customer supplied injectors, and it has a bill for however many $1,000 or whatever, the $2,200 to get these injectors installed. Now, I was under the impression, the guy told me, that it had aftermarket 30% over injectors installed. I went and did some research. Seems like a pretty common thing to do. The 30% over aftermarket replacements, they're like right around $1,000 or $1,200, whatever they are. So when I popped the valve cover, I could see the branding on them. So let's go over here and check these out. So I got my left bank here and my right bank here. I guess technically, yeah, the easy side, passenger side, hard side, driver side. So you're going to see, when you start looking down here, that some of these don't match. This one doesn't have any branding on it. Come down here to this one. diesellogic.com. I don't know if they just forgot to laser etch that one or what, but this side, the passenger side, had 3 Diesel Logic injectors, 1 stock one, and then, or 1 unlabeled one. I don't know if it's stock or not. And then this side had 2 Diesel Logic injectors and 2 other ones. Now, I don't know if like this non-branded one, I mean the serial number's in the same place as all the other Diesel Logic ones. It looks like it's new, but I couldn't tell you what it is, you know, what brand it is. Here's another thing I did notice, and I don't know if this is common, I need you guys in the comments. The end of that injector, pretty carbony. You know, all of them kind of are. Now the receipt shows that they only have like 1,500 miles on them from when the mileage is on the truck. So, I don't know that that's normal, but it's a lot of carbon. Rotary engines, that's a lot of carbon. I don't like that. I like my stuff to be clean. So, and then 2, like this one, homeboy put black O-rings on this one, and this O-ring's pinched, you know. But basically, the injectors that were leaking are these 2 right here, and they were leaking around the base. So you can see where the cast injector body in the center meets this top part. I don't know if that's threaded on or not, but it was leaking diesel fuel out of that. It wasn't leaking out of the return line. You know, these sit in here like this, and I had it coming off the top, as you guys saw in the video. So, anyways, that's that. Another thing that I did have an issue with is these return line bolts, the banjo bolts. Whoever put this together reused these, but they definitely did not torque them to the proper spec. 2 of them on the passenger side were super tight, and 1 of them on the driver's side was so tight that I almost blew out the Allen head, and I had to, fortunately as the front one, I could get a vice grip on it and like double action the vice grip plus the ratchet with the Allen head and pop it off without busting it. But for now, everything else came apart. Let me tell you, some Chevrolet engineer is so proud of this idea, and I'm stoked because this is much appreciated. The bolts on the little nuts that go on your injector wiring are fixed into the eyelet, so you can't drop that into your engine. Smart kids. Smart kids up there at Chevrolet. So, with that, guys, that is where we're sitting. I went ahead and ordered a set of Bosch OEM replacement injectors. They'll be here in a couple days. We'll get those installed. I'm going to do my best with a straw in my shop vac to clean this up as best I can. I really want to pressure wash this engine bay out, but I'm not going to do that until I have the engine sealed back up. I don't want to get water in here. So we'll get this thing sealed back up, make sure everything is good, and then we'll get this engine bay nice and clean. All the parts I took off, we're going to be cleaning all of this stuff. I will get all of this dirt and stuff wire wheeled off of here. These valve covers are going to look brand new. It looks like they replaced the lines, the feed lines and everything. These look pretty much brand new. They're not dirty like the rest of the engine, so I'm just going to clean those up and reuse them. I am going to clean up all my boost, my charge pipes here, and get my coolant tank cleaned and get my airbox cleaned, and just, we got to clean everything. So, also, interior. Headliner's trashed, door handle's broken. Oh, come on. It's not in terrible shape per se, but this is basically like the Z06 of pickup trucks. So it matches my Z06 in the basement, my car. But stripper model, we got the vinyl floor, but we still got power windows, power locks. It's a stick. Floor shift, 4-wheel drive. Heated mirrors with the LED things, the LED turn signal in them, which is obnoxiously bright, right in your face, not stoked. And then 2, my freaking roof's leaking, which you guys saw. So we'll be ripping this all out, basically restoring this truck in the next few videos. So go check that out. This is hopefully will go pretty quickly, as in we make big progress in these videos. But I'm stoked that you guys are here checking out my LB7 issues. And honestly, this is a good looking old truck, and I'm pretty happy with it. As much as I got it for cheap enough, I can put some money into it and it'd still be all right. The truck's only got 220,000 miles on it. It does need some steering help, but it's Duramax. It'll break the tie rods as soon as I strap something heavy to it. So with that, guys, thank you very much for watching. We'll see you guys in the next one. Keep it rad. Let's go find my dog. Well, we got Kona here watching my buddy's dog. She's tired. She puts herself to bed at like 9 o'clock. It's well later than that. And my dog, Letty, like Fast and Furious Letty, if you're new to the channel, is right here. Hey, come here. Come here. Come here, Letty. Come here. Come here. Come here. Hey, hey. Letty. Letty, come here. Hey. Letty, jump if we bought a good truck. Hey. No, jump. Letty. Hey, jump if we bought a good truck. Yeah. Letty thinks we got a good truck too. Peace, guys.